following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show presented by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. And this episode is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. Taste the Kona difference. Get some delicious coffee from Hawaii. Head over to hawaiianisles.com or Amazon. Neil, my man, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I love the short set, the 3 games. It's a nice little respite. I wish it was more balanced. 11 last night, 3 tonight. It would have been nice if it was like 8 and 6. But anyway, just 2 are completed so far, so not a whole lot to talk about. We were talking about this bonus news before we jumped on. I know you're an owner. Are you going to try to hedge against this and pick someone up, or like Kyle O'Quinn maybe, or are you thinking it's just hard to know?
Kyle O'Quinn, not a bad suggestion. He has looked good at times. I'm hoping that Sabonis isn't. I mean, maybe he misses a couple games. I don't know, man. Like, ankle sprains are tough. I sprained my ankle pretty bad one time, and it took me months to get over it. So, I'm nowhere near on the level of these elite athletes. But I like that take, Neil. I think Kyle O'Quinn could be worth a stream in the short term. Sabonis is going to at the very least, miss a few games. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it looks like he's out. It says like he's in line for extended period of absence. Not extended, but a couple games. They're saying 2 games here. But you're right. This could take whenever you get more than 1 game. I always feel like we never know for sure how long it's going to be. Obviously, it won't be like a long time, but it could be 3. Kyle O'Quinn, maybe. I think he kind of does a similar stat set. We always know that when he got minutes in New York, he had does all right. I mean, last game he played 8 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2. From the line, from the field, 66%. So it's not bad. I don't know, 21 minutes. I don't think he'll get 30. He might get like 24 to 26. I think it's just one of those things. If you're streaming that category, then maybe rebounds and field goal percentage. But yeah, I certainly wouldn't drop anyone of value for sure.
I'm looking at the depth chart, and I'm not really too crazy about anyone. If anything, if you're going to take a shot on anyone, it's definitely Kyle O'Quinn. If anything, maybe it's just more of a boost for Thaddeus Young and Miles Turner. And but if you got a free streaming spot, you're feeling a little risky, maybe grab Kyle O'Quinn and see what happens. And Neil, it was funny. I was looking at the 9 category rankings on the season before we started recording, and Sabonis is the number 58 player on the season for 9 category, 5th round value. I have Sabonis I have him rostered in, I believe, at least 3 leagues. So this one hurts me, man. This one hurts.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be back for your playoffs. It won't be too long. I wanted him this year. I thought he was going to certainly outperform his draft position, but I did not get him. I was kind of waiting on him too late, I think, in my leagues. But anyway, yeah, he's been phenomenal this year, and I think he's one of these players that I think just needed time to develop. I think he's going to keep getting better. I could see him as a starter. We'll see how this Indiana lineup holds for him going into next season, if things change a bit, if he's still around, if he ultimately goes somewhere else, or what the situation's going to be. But I think he's worth starting in this league. And if not, he can be like that Cantor guy off the bench for sure. All right. No other news I'm seeing on injury side. Do you have anything you want to discuss?
No, nothing really that I see. But, we talked about how this is going to be a short night, but let's drag this show out as long as possible, Neil, because my wife is going to force me to watch The Bachelor with her when this show's done. So let's make this the longest 3-game night ever.
I hear marriage is all about compromise, so God bless you on that one. All right, let's. With that said, let's go to game 1. I believe it's my turn to start. Orlando, New York is the first game started tonight. Adrian, so 103. I'll do Orlando side first. They lost 103-108. Last night, you talked about you shared a very interesting story about your your time as a youngster there in high school playing JV basketball. Adrian, I finally picked up Terrence Ross, and I started him tonight.
Oh.
He had his worst fantasy night of the season. Wow. He went 1 for 10 from the field, 3 points, 2 rebounds, nothing else. I cried, Adrian. I cried like you back in your first basketball game. I may have committed some fouls against some of my furniture. Just not very happy. Yeah, I was streaming. I've been streaming Jaylen Brown, and I thought Jaylen Brown against Toronto or Terrence Ross against the Knicks. I made a mistake. Anyway, I'll go through all the stats now. I just want to start off with that and let you know that you may have cried when you were like 13 or 14. I cry in my 40s, so it's fine. Anyway, aside from Terrence Ross, Orlando had a lead here. They ended up losing it to New York at the end. You can talk about the Mitchell Robinson show later, but let's start with Vucevic. 26 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists on 12 of 19 shooting, 1 steal, 3 blocks. He continues just to impress night after night. This guy is Mr. Consistency, second-round value, entire way through. Aaron Gordon has a nice night here, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 8 of 16 shooting, 1 steal, 1 block. Jonathan Isaac, this is a good night. 3 blocks, 4 3-pointers, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 of 12. Did it almost all except for no steals, no blocks. No assists, but everything else is just fine. He is doing what we expected when we drafted him. DJ Augustine, I also streamed him. So this one worked out okay. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists on 5 of 10 shooting, 3 3-pointers, 1 steal. Evan Fournier, 15, 5, and 8. He was 0 for 7 from three-point land, though. Unfortunately, no 3-pointers tonight. Did have 3 steals. As I mentioned off the bench, Terrence Ross did not do anything tonight after coming off a spectacular game last time. He's had about 3 bad games this season, and this was his worst. Not much off the bench. I don't know. I'm one of these people that I start someone and they stink, but we know that there's going to be up games and down games, so maybe I let them roll one more time. I'm trying to think. What would you do if you had just done this?
I would roll with him one more time. As you said, Neil, the last game, which I think was on Sunday, 28 points, 9 rebounds, had 3 threes in that game. And that was against a very tough Toronto Raptor defense, Neil. So you thought for sure against this cupcake New York Knicks defense, he would just go crazy. And I think this is an outlier, man. I would still roll him. Now, if he burns you again, then, usually for me, if I get burned 2 or 3 times, I'm done. I'm just, all right, I'm done. I'll move on. But I would expect him to bounce back in the next one. Neil, I'm looking at his game log. I have not seen him have 2 bad games in a row, right?
That's what's giving me a little bit of hope. But I've been known to jinx players. So we shall see if that holds up. If you look at Terrence Ross's stat line next time and it's horrible, you'll know I started him. Let's just say.
No such thing as a jinx, Neil. But anyways, hey, Jonathan Isaac, a pretty good game from him. Love the 3 blocks, 16 points. Aaron Gordon has been hot. I feel like he's been playing really well. Great game from the Orlando Magic. Vucevic, what can you say about this guy, Neil? I pulled open that 9-cat ranking on the season. He is the number 6 overall player. We've been talking about it all season. What a stud he has been all year, Matt. Any closing thoughts on the Magic before I head over to the New York Knicks?
No, he's even better than 9-cat. You're saying first-round value, huh?
Yes, yeah, I'm looking at 9 category. I'm looking at for the season, yes. So not per game. He is currently player number 6. Neil, he is sitting ahead of Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic. He is sitting ahead of Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard. What an unreal season he has had. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, he's only missed one game this season, I believe. So that total is just phenomenal. Yeah, good for him. And anyone else who drafted him. All right. Can. Any other thoughts on Orlando before you hop over to New York?
Just that it looks like this team's gonna make the play. Oh well, actually, they lost tonight to the Knicks, though.
They did lose.
Jeez. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they'll make the playoffs. I actually like them to squeak into the playoffs, though. But tough loss here tonight. Any team that loses to the Knicks that's trying to make the playoffs, that should not sit well. All right, I'm going to jump over on the Knicks side. And Neil, was it Sunday night that we were looking at Dotson, and we were wondering, is it going to be Moutier? Are you going to go pick up Dotson? And now all of a sudden, guys like Moutier or Hazonia or Alonzo Trier is going to get the minutes. And Neil, that's pretty much what we saw here tonight, man. I have Dennis Smith Jr. in a few leagues. He only got 21 minutes tonight. No foul trouble. Fizdale is quickly becoming one of my least favorite coaches, man. You cannot count on this team at all. He messes with this rotation like crazy. But there is one guy that I'm starting to love, Neil, and it's Mitchell Robinson. Now, DeAndre Jordan has not played. And, Neil, do we know how long DeAndre Jordan is expected to miss?
I need to look that up. I'm sorry, I'm a little delinquent on my screen here. DeAndre Jordan is questionable, so I guess I feel like it's an ankle sprain. So he was questionable. Perhaps next game, perhaps not. We'll see.
So I'm seeing the same thing. He was questionable. So to me, that tells me the fact that he was questionable coming in means he's probably close. So look, we all love Mitchell Robinson. I mean, I salivate over his potential, man. This guy is unbelievable. The blocks, 6 blocks tonight, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 6 of 9 shooting from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. But I am slightly worried that when DeAndre Jordan gets back in this rotation, it could hurt Mitchell Robinson. But for sure, you got to jump on Mitchell Robinson. Pick him up if he's still sitting on your wire. Neil, he's rostered in all of my leagues, so no pickup there for me. Kevin Knox, man, he crushed your field goal percentage tonight. 3 of 16 from the field. Just killed you there tonight. So, if you're playing him, likely you're punting field goal percentage, but the 27 minutes is good. The fact that he took 16 shots, I mean, he should put up better scoring numbers than the 8 points he had here tonight. 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Crazy that they got this win here. The starters looked horrible. It was their bench who actually outplayed the starters. But I'm going to take one last look at the starting lineup. Not too much to talk about. Dotson was hot. He turned back into a pumpkin here tonight. Vonleh has been he's just been irrelevant for a while now. I don't really trust Thomas. Let's take a look at the bench real quick. We already talked about Mitchell Robinson. Moutier. It was Moutier getting the bulk of the minutes at the point guard spot. 32 minutes, shot 8 of 18 for 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. I don't trust to pick up Moutier because in the next one, it could be Dennis Smith Jr. getting the bulk of the minutes. Alonzo Trier looked really good in this one. 18 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. Man, I also salivate at the idea of this guy in a starting 30-minute role. Like, I think Alonzo Trier could be really good, but I just don't trust Fizdale in his rotations and this team in general. No Hazonia in this one. I don't even know if he was hurt or did he just get a DNP CD for no reason. Neil Aquina as well. I don't know, Neil. What do you think of the Knicks, man? This team is very frustrating.
Very frustrating is probably the headline for New York Knicks. Mitchell Robinson, though, is not frustrating if you had picked him up. He has been on fire. I've already put him in one headline in the last couple of days in the box score breakdown. I don't want to do that again, but he would deserve it. He's been phenomenal. He was the only one that we liked the best. We also liked, DSJ to be okay. Dotson, I said 3 of the last 4 games he had broke 30 minutes, and that was a great sign. Prior to that, I was just looking. He had not gotten above 24 minutes in the last 7 or 8 games prior to that. So I guess this is not too surprising. Trent is not holding form. Fizdale obviously is coaching for his, I'm assuming his future. I mean, there's no guarantee there. So he seems to be we know he's the type of guy who will change his starters and change his rotations pretty quickly. So trying to find consistency, I guess I got to stop being Lucy with the or Charlie Brown with the football and Fizdale with holding it, because I keep thinking I'm finding patterns which maybe are not there. Aside from Robinson, and can't even trust Dennis Smith Jr. I guess right now for sure. Certainly start him if he's on your team, but you never know. So I'm going to punt on the Knicks and just avoid them. Heck, I couldn't even get Terrence Ross right, so I'm not going to talk about the Knicks. Anyway. I'll move over to Game 2, which was the game of the night in terms of the marquee matchup, Boston against Toronto. Toronto just lays the hammer down here, 118-95. Boston looks like they're in a bit of disarray. This game got pretty out of hand early. By halftime, I think Toronto was up by close to 20 points. They kind of stayed that way throughout. On the Boston side tonight, a lot of minutes spread around because of that. Let's see, Tatum got 24 minutes, just 11.7 rebounds. Did shoot okay, 5 of 10. No defensive stats tonight. Marcus Morris had one of the better lines, 17.6 rebounds with a three-pointer. Horford, very quiet, 8 points on 4-10 shooting. No defensive stats, just 4 rebounds. He did have 5 assists. Marcus Smart, just don't trust him. 5 points tonight, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Even Kyrie Irving struggled, 3 of 10 shooting. Single digits, 7 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Gordon Hayward, not much to speak about. Jaylen Brown actually had a decent night. 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. So nice to see that. He's been known for his defensive stats. Rozier gets 22 minutes off the bench, along with Robert Williams, sort of in garbage time. So not taking away much here. We know this team is very spread out talent-wise, and Tatum's had a great year for sure. Talent probably is better than his stat set says. Horford's been okay, or has been solid, and Kyrie, of course, when he's out there. Other than that, it's really hard to know who is going to step up on a night-to-night basis. So no changes from this game. Any thoughts from you on Boston?
I mean, you pretty much nailed it right there with how they spread around the production on this team. I mean, Neil, when you look at their box score as a whole for the entire team, I mean, these numbers are literally spread around evenly amongst, I mean, tonight they went heavy with their bench with this game being a blowout. So literally, man, these stats are spread out amongst like 10 guys here. So night to night, it's very difficult. Everybody's putting up good value in Tatum and Irving and, Morris and Horford, but it's just a shame because, on a different team, a lot of these guys their value would increase significantly if they had a bigger workload. But because this team is so deep, that production just gets spread around. And for fantasy, reality, it's great, but for fantasy, it's kind of a bummer. It's a little bit of a buzzkill. So I'm not too high on the Celtics, man. I've really stayed away from them for fantasy. Neil, I think to be honest with you, I play in, I believe it's 11 or 10 leagues. I don't think I have a single Celtic on any of my teams. And I think that's kind of crazy because I do actually like a lot of these players, but I just didn't trust it for fantasy, man.
Yeah, I've been streaming Jaylen Brown here and there. It's been okay. He's definitely. I've been trying to get some steals from him, some 3-pointers, some good percentages from out of a wing player, and he's decent for that. But tonight, I didn't think he'd do much. He did okay. Well, go ahead.
You're a smarter man than me, Neil, because you streamed Jaylen Brown. I played Danny Green tonight, and So it was a very, very bad night for Kobe Wan Kenobi, my home team, who Dennis Smith bombed. You know, my team is really shorthanded right now, Neil, because I got a lot of injuries at the moment. So I threw Danny Green into my lineup, just taking a gamble, and that gamble failed. 6 points, a steal, 2 assists, 3 rebounds for Danny Green. Pascal Siakam has been insane. What can you say about this guy, man? I'm trying to find him. Oh, how about the number 24 player for the season in 9 category leagues? That's the end of second round value in most standard leagues. What a stud this guy has been. He's been unbelievable. Kawhi Leonard, 21 points, a steal, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. A great game from him. I'm just trying to see real quick. Okay, no injury concern on Kawhi Leonard. I don't know if they're playing back-to-back tomorrow, Neil, but if they are, I would expect him to maybe get some rest. But I think they have off tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look. Kyle Lowry, a little disappointing from the scoring standpoint from him. Only took 6 shots in 35 minutes. That feels really disappointing. Only 7 points, a steal, but did have 11 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 3. Who else? Serge Ibaka got the start, but only played 20 minutes for 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 threes tonight is great. An efficient 6 of 7 shooting from the field is nice. Neil, Marc Gasol, this is disappointing, man. I don't know if maybe because this was the blowout, they just decided to kind of, rest him a little bit, give him limited minutes. Only got 23 minutes off of the bench, 5 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. If you have Marc Gasol on your roster, he definitely took a big hit with the move to the Toronto Raptors, but I think he will be better than this on most nights. I think this line and his minutes tonight likely just due to the blowout factor. Not too much else to talk about on the bench. I don't trust any of these bench guys. It's really the top guys that are doing the heavy lifting on this team. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Raptors?
This was a great win for them. I think going down for reality wise, let's take a step back since we have some time tonight. I thought, when the season started, I thought the Celtics, we saw this arms race and sort of the trading deadline with Toronto getting Gasol and then Mirotic going to Milwaukee, and then Philadelphia obviously getting Tobias Harris. So I was curious to see how this would all play out. I'm starting to think that Milwaukee and Toronto are the 2 teams to beat. In the East, we'll see if Boston get back up there. I'm still a big believer in their overall talent and their coach to figure this out, but maybe it's just not going to happen this year. They've had some tough losses, and this one was pretty convincingly. So as far as fantasy-wise, like you said, I think Toronto is off tomorrow. Boston is on a back-to-back. They go back home and play Portland, but Toronto does not play tomorrow. Like you said, Kyle Lowry, he was disappointing tonight, but overall in the season he's been just fine. Per game basis, I know he's only played 50 games, so he's missed some time, but per game he's 22nd, 8 category leagues. Gasol seems to be, he didn't have to play that many minutes tonight. I had said the other night I think he's going to get up to 30 minutes tonight by the end of the season. Tonight he came off the bench, played 23. I still think they got him for a reason, and they want this team to be peaking going into the playoffs. They need all the reps they can get with him out there. I don't think they're going to hold him back unless it's a blowout. That's it. I was curious to see what Jeremy Lin would do in a backup role. Van Fleet's out for still a little while. If one of their before when Leonard sat or Lowry sat, it was Van Fleet. I'm wondering if that's the case going forward. Is it Lin now who hops in if Van Fleet's still out tonight in 25 minutes? He did okay, not worth picking up. So I don't think I'm going to stream him, even if he is starting. Although I think he could be a sneaky sort of player if that ever happens. And you can pick up same day. So that's really all I'm taking away. The rest kind of stays the same. Siakam, I am so fortunate I picked him up in one league. He is. If I win that league, it's because of that.
Wow.
He's been amazing, like you said.
Nice.
He's been amazing.
Man, next year, I mean, Neil, next year we might be drafting Siakam in like the second round next year, or like beginning of third round, because he's just been outstanding, man. He looks so good.
Yeah, he certainly is going to be valued in the, I think, worst case scenario, third round value, I think. Anyway, all right, that's it, isn't it?
All right, you guys.
The second
wish me luck. I am going to have to watch The Bachelor now and spend some time with my wife. You guys.
Well, actually, one second. I want to mention something I received on Twitter from someone who is in. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering your name. Who's in the hoop ball leagues, and he was thinking maybe we should do a show about the hoop ball leagues. Adrian, I know you're not involved with that. I'm a little more active with that.
Hey, I'd still love to do a show about the hoop ball leagues.
Yeah, so we could we can brainstorm on this and think what we want to do.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about how we can get the leagues more involved, especially on a slow night of box scores like tonight. But we didn't really have time to prepare anything, so we will get back to you. Maybe have well, I don't want to speculate, but anyway.
You know what would be really cool too, I think, is at the end of the season to kind of give some love, a shout out to all the winners of the leagues. That would be kind of cool. List all the people and the teams that won all of the major hoop ball leagues. I think that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Or even if we can get a champion on here, that'd be great.
That would be cool.
I was thinking even of doing when the champion weeks are going on, the championship weeks, maybe starting to talk about them as the week goes on. Anyway, some thoughts about that, but certainly we should acknowledge those guys a little more. Thanks for everyone who is participating. Adrian, you go ahead and do your sign-off since you've got bigger and better things to do.
All right, you guys, I'm out of here, but I'll be back again tomorrow. Hit us up on Twitter, you guys. He's at Ball with Neil. I'm at Adrian Benjamins. We love hearing from you. Thanks a lot for listening, supporting the show. I'm out of here, but Neil will be back for one more game. Thank you.
All right, on to the last game of the evening. Oklahoma City goes into Denver. They lose 112 to 121. On the OKC side, Westbrook continues to light it up, and not just in points league. Tonight he did pretty well Well, his free throw percentage was not great. Sorry, I did not see that at first. He had 22 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists on 8 of 14 shooting, 2 3-pointers. Did go 4 away from the line. It's just so curious on why he's struggling there. Paul George, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He struggled tonight, 7 of 24 from the field, including 3 of 14 from three-point land. Did have 6 steals, which he's known to be somewhat of a steals magnet. Jeremy Grant, 34 minutes, solid night here, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 9 of 12 shooting, 2 3-pointers, 2 blocks. He has been solid all season. Terrence Ferguson, not much in his starting role. Steven Adams, 15, 5, and 3. Solid night with a steal and a block. Nothing spectacular, but solid nonetheless. Off the bench, Schroeder continues to be someone I should consider streaming because I need some more point guard help, and he has been consistently right on the cusp of being on. And tonight he had a decent game, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Did struggle though, 5 of 17 shooting, 3-pointer and a steal. Noel, not enough time to be relevant here. 18 minutes, just 7 points, 5 rebounds. Same with Markieff Morris. He has not really added much to this team and is not getting all that many minutes. So if you're hoping he might be have some fantasy value here after the trade, it has not happened, and I don't think it will. It seems just to really be the Paul George, Westbrook, and Adam show. And Grant, I should add. He has been a great fantasy pickup or a fantasy draft pick if you got him this season. So really no changes there from the OKC side. On Denver tonight, Gary Harris still not in the starting lineup. They are going with tonight Millsap, 12 and 10, low-end double-double, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 steals and a block. Will Barton, I thought he might be droppable. Tonight's game certainly was not. 23 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists on 9 of 16 shooting. Really just the points night, though. He had a good shooting night, so that worked out. 1 3-pointer. Certainly, though, he can hang on if he can continue to play 33 minutes and play this well. Jokic, he does what he does. 36 points, phenomenal. 9 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 3-pointers, a block, 10 of 13 from the free throw line, 11 of 25 from the field. Jamal Murray, he has been able to carve out fantasy value. He's a terrific talent, too. 20 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 3-pointers. The big disappointment is Gary Harris not playing just 23 minutes and really doing nothing fantasy-wise tonight, aside from his 2 steals. Malik Beasley gets a start at shooting guard, not fantasy relevant. Off the bench, Isaiah Thomas, we thought this might be interesting. I didn't expect it to be interesting, but certainly something to keep an eye on considering his history. 15 minutes tonight, 11 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. I don't think he'll get there anywhere close to 12-team or even 14-team value. Better night than Gary Harris, but not worth owning in fantasy. So unfortunately, Gary Harris continues to disappoint. I'm not sure if it's going to change. I think if you need to worry about playoffs, you should drop him. If you can roster him and just not start him, then I think he's a good enough talent that he's worth holding on to, just to see if things were to change in this lineup. But it's not looking good. Trusting Murray, trusting Jokic, of course. Millsap seems to be fine. Barton, right on the edge there for me. Tonight, a great night. So hopefully this continues for him. If you own him, Beasley, Harris, Plumlee, Monte Morris, Isaiah Thomas, and the rest not making the cut. So that is the last game, and I'll wrap it up there again. Thanks for listening. We are sponsored by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee. You can find their delicious products at hawaiianisles.com or on amazon.com. And you can hit me up on Twitter. Thanks for everyone who has done so far. My Twitter handle is @ballwithneil, BALLWITHNEIL. And we will be back tomorrow.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.